In April of 1912, a ship unlike any other set sail across the cold Atlantic waters. It was more than a vessel. It was a symbol of human ambition, engineering brilliance, and the promise of a new era. The Titanic. A name that would echo across history, not because of its triumph, but because of its tragedy. On the evening of April 10th, over 2,200 souls boarded the RMS Titanic in Southampton, England. Some were wealthy elites seeking luxury at sea. Others were humble immigrants chasing the dream of a better life in America. And in those bustling decks, dreams and destiny mingled together, unaware that in just days, fate would tear it all apart. The Titanic was a marvel, 800 feet of steel and splendor, a floating palace. Many called it unsinkable. But that word, unsinkable, would soon become a cruel reminder of hubris. 4 days into the voyage, the night of April 14th arrived cold and still. In the crow's nest, lookouts scanned the horizon. The sea was eerily calm, the stars bright. But calm seas can hide danger. And danger was waiting. At 11:40 p.m., a shape appeared in the darkness. An iceberg. Massive, silent, and impossible to avoid. The lookout rang the warning bell. The crew fought to turn the great ship, but it was too late. The Titanic scraped against the frozen wall, its steel skin torn open like paper. At first, many passengers didn't realize the gravity of what had happened. After all, this was the Titanic. She couldn't sink. Could she? Within an hour, the truth spread like wildfire. Water poured into the lower decks. Panic began to rise. The lifeboats, only enough for half the people on board, were being readied. Mothers clutched their children. Husbands kissed their wives goodbye, knowing they might never see them again. And in the chaos, the great ship groaned as the Atlantic claimed her inch by inch. By 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, the Titanic's lights flickered for the last time. The bow plunged into the depths. The stern rose high into the night sky before breaking apart and disappearing beneath the freezing water. More than 1,500 lives were lost. Only around 700 survived. That is the story history remembers. But like any great mystery, the Titanic's tale doesn't end with what we know. There are whispers, rumors, that the truth may be far stranger. One of the most enduring conspiracy theories claims that the ship that sank wasn't the Titanic at all. Some believe it was her nearly identical sister ship, the RMS Olympic. According to this theory, the Olympic had been damaged earlier in an accident. Facing enormous repair costs, the owners supposedly swapped the two ships, sending the Titanic under the Olympic's name, intending to stage an insurance claim. But if that's true, the plan went tragically wrong, costing over 1,000 lives instead of saving money. Another theory suggests that the Titanic's sinking wasn't an accident at all, but sabotage. Some claim rival business interests or even secret groups wanted certain powerful men on board silenced forever. Among the victims were wealthy industrialists and financiers. Was it merely bad luck that they perished, or a calculated move to shift economic power? And then, there's the theory of prophecy. 14 years before the disaster, author Morgan Robertson wrote a novel called Futility, The Wreck of the Titan. It told the story of a massive, unsinkable ship striking an iceberg in the Atlantic and sinking on its maiden voyage. The similarities to the Titanic are uncanny. Coincidence? Or something more? Was the Titanic doomed long before she touched the water? History leaves us with questions, and questions leave room for imagination. So let's build an alternate ending. Imagine for a moment that the lookout spotted the iceberg just 5 minutes earlier. The warning bell rang out, the helm turned hard to port, and the great ship narrowly missed the frozen giant. Cheers broke out among the crew. No lives lost, no tragedy. The Titanic arrived in New York days later, greeted as the true queen of the seas. The myth of the unsinkable ship lived on, and the world never learned the lesson of human vulnerability. Or imagine a different twist. The iceberg is struck, but the ship's design holds. Instead of ripping open her side, the damage is contained. Pumps and watertight doors do their job. Passengers are shaken but safe. The Titanic limps into Halifax for emergency repairs, and the story becomes one of survival rather than catastrophe. What would have changed if the Titanic had never sunk? Would maritime safety laws have taken longer to evolve? Would the legends and movies we know today even exist? Sometimes, history's greatest tragedies shape the world far beyond the event itself. But reality is what it is. The Titanic rests 2.5 miles beneath the Atlantic, her steel skeleton a silent monument to human ambition, hope, and loss. Each year, divers and explorers visit her grave. Each year, storytellers bring her memory to life again. And now, brick by brick, we do the same. As we lay the final Lego piece on this story, one thing remains clear. The Titanic is more than a shipwreck. It's a reminder that even the strongest creations can fall, that every journey carries risk, and that stories, whether told in history books, movies, or bricks, can keep the past alive forever. What do you think? Was the Titanic's fate sealed by bad luck, human error, or something more mysterious? And which story would you rather live in? The tragedy we know, or the alternate ending where the great ship sails on into legend? Comment below and tell us which version you'd build.